Hello, I'm Alex Pat, and welcome back to Wrigleyville Times. So the beginning of June is when people usually start talking about the All-Star Game. Though there's a lot of voting left to be done and a lot of baseball left to be played, people start to get a good idea of who they think will be in the All-Star Game. Of course, at the beginning of the season, we all have our ideas of who will probably be in the All-Star Game if you're an MLB star or have proven yourself as an All-Star in past seasons. But it's really when we look at the stats and kind of see where they are, where they stand, compared to all the other candidates that are for the All-Star Game, you get an idea of what's the possibility of them A, playing in the All-Star Game, and B, starting in the All-Star Game. So we take a look at the Chicago Cubs roster, both batting and pitching, and we start to think, who will be in the All-Star Game for the Cubs this year? In my opinion, there are plenty of players on the Cubs that could be All-Stars, and then there are the few players who look like they will for sure be All-Stars. Of course, you can't really say that until the vote is in, but there are certain players on the team that it looks like pretty confidently that these players are going to be All-Stars. Right now, I have 3 Cubs going to the All-Star Game. 2 pitchers and 1 fielder. Now, of course, if these 2 pitchers go to the All-Star Game, hopefully they'll be able to play in the All-Star Game. I don't even know why I still have that. He's not on the team anymore. Let's look at who I think will be in the All-Star Game right now as of June 6th. Our 2 All-Star pitchers, Jason Hammel and Jake Arrieta. Our fielder, first baseman Anthony Rizzo. The first base race for the NL All-Star Game is probably one of the most interesting in baseball. Now, how I do feel that Anthony Rizzo has the stats to be an MLB starter in the All-Star Game, it's going to be really hard with the competition he has around him. Anthony Rizzo is currently sandwiched between a few other first basemen who have put up very good numbers as well and are all qualifiers to be the starting first baseman in the All-Star Game. I think there's little question if Rizzo keeps going the way he is that he will be in the All-Star Game. I'm pretty confident he will be. It's just a matter of is he going to start or not. As of Saturday, June 6th, Anthony Rizzo currently sports a .446 on-base percentage and an on-base plus slugging of 1.051. Both those stats are second in the NL. He is just behind one player in both those departments, and that is Arizona slugging first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Currently, Goldschmidt has an on-base percentage of .471 and an on-base plus slugging of 1.143. Both first in the National League. Those are some pretty gaudy numbers, and if he keeps those up, it looks like the starting job could go to him. But could Anthony Rizzo catch him? It's possible. You also have to look at who's right under Anthony Rizzo in the first base department, and that's Adrian Gonzalez of the Dodgers. He's been a great hitter for a very long time in this league. Agon's season looks a little bit like this as of June 6th. A .419 on-base percentage and an on-base plus slugging of 1.030. Right under Anthony Rizzo, both third in the NL. And as of course, you also gotta watch out for Joey Votto, the 4-time All-Star and 2010 MVP. He's also been known to be an on-base machine over the years. He currently has a .389 on-base percentage with an OPS of 900. But there is an interesting stat that Rizzo leads in all first basemen. Anthony Rizzo has only struck out 26 times and has walked 30 times. So his base on ball to K ratio, 1.51, is the best among NL first basemen. Though Paul Goldschmidt has drawn more walks, 45, he's also struck out a lot more times with 48 strikeouts. Adrian Gonzalez has walked less times, 25, and has struck out more, 38 times. So Rizzo's got that going for him. It's probably not the big stat that people look at in the All-Star voting, but it's a pretty notable stat that Rizzo has regardless. Now let's move on to the pitching who I think will be in the All-Star Game. First of all, Jason Hammel. It was really nice to get him back. We had him for the first half of last year and then traded him away to Oakland, which brought us Addison Russell, and eventually getting him back. Yeah, I think we won that trade, Oakland, sorry. Either way, let's look at Hammel's numbers so far. He just pitched a gem against the Washington Nationals, going 8 innings, only giving up 2 runs. Those 2 runs were solo home runs, so it put his FIP up from 2.65 to 2.94. which is still a very solid number. If we look at his other stats, his innings pitched, 75, 5th in the NL, strikeouts, 9th, and the biggest stat to keep in mind, his whip is best in baseball at .089. He has only walked 9 batters in 75 innings. That is good command. That is efficiency. He walked 2 in his last start, and Len and JD were going on saying, that's pretty shocking for Hamill so far, the way his command has been so good. Will Jason Hamill have a chance to start the All-Star game? I doubt it, because right now Max Scherzer in his .218 FIP is looking like that's going to be the starter for the NL. Max Scherzer, the Washington Nationals. Good signing, Nationals. Great pickup. As for Jake Arrieta, probably our second best pitcher overall this year, is sporting the FIP at 2.76, which is 4th in the NL, and he's only allowed 6 home runs all year. A lot of those came in that one game against the Kansas City Royals, so it goes to show, besides that one game, he hasn't given up the long ball at all. And the same goes for him and Jason Hamill. If they make the All-Star game, they're probably not going to start, because, like I said, Max Scherzer. So that pretty much goes for that analysis. So far we have these 3 players who I think will be in the All-Star game. We'll take another look in about 2 weeks to see if these numbers hold true, and if there's any other players that could join them in the All-Star game potentially. I'm Alex Pat for Wrigleyville Times.